Final game of the season at the Palace of Auburn Hills. It will determine which team takes the lead 3-2. We'll wrap it up in San Antonio Tuesday and, if necessary, Thursday. The crew tonight: Steve Javie, Ron Garretson, and Mike Callahan. They worked game one. They called only 36 fouls in that game, fewest of any game in the series. Javie puts it in the air. Muhammad and Wallace for the jump ball, and San Antonio starts the game with the first possession. Tony Parker, a guy who needs to get hot, who needs to be effective tonight. To Muhammad outside. Wallace staying with him. Now Tim Duncan, guarded by Rasheed Wallace. Ginobili goes by Prince, drops it off underneath for Duncan, and he puts it in to make it 2-0.
Yeah, they ran what we call in basketball a little bit of a flex offense movement. Excellent down screens on both sides of the lane until someone opens up. Then if nothing is there, take it to the basket. Now you can see Detroit, this is where they have excelled in games 3 and 4. Their baseline coverage of not allowing the dribbler to get to the front of the rim.
Momentary stoppage as they wipe up some moisture underneath the basket. That's why the whistle sounded after the basket, coming 21 seconds into the game. You saw Larry Brown. The question is, will this be his final game as the coach of the Pistons in this building, again with a health issue? He'll be checked out at the end of the playoffs, and that will help determine his future. Now Chauncey Billups, guarded by Parker. Ben Wallace goes to work on Muhammad, loses the ball, saves at the baseline, and keeps on dribbling with 7 seconds, and puts it up, but doesn't get the bounce, and you've got a whistle anyway to take the ball away from Detroit.
Now that was a set play to get Ben Wallace a one-on-one versus Muhammad, because if you know, in games 3 and 4, Muhammad picked up fouls early, and his minutes were diminished in the first half.
That was a 3-second violation, and here's Parker dropping it in. So interestingly, Detroit the other night with just 4 turnovers in the entire game, setting a record for the finals, starts with a turnover on his first possession.
Well, they've been very consistent. A low turnover team right throughout the 4 rounds of the playoffs, right around 11-12 a game.
Billups goes all the way in and scores.
What I want to see happen now tonight is I want to see the San Antonio defense, that team that held teams that are #1 in the league in points scored and then also in the top 3 in every major defensive category. That's the group that's got to step up here tonight.
You saw him in Texas, but not in Michigan.
That's
offensive
right.
Rebound, though. Ginobili to reset from outside. Prince staying with him. Off a Duncan screen, a little floater from the lane, doesn't drop. Wallace gets the rebound.
Yeah, I like the way they contested Ginobili that time. They did not let him get to the glass. Forced the floater. Now that was a poor percentage shot.
Hamilton to an open Rasheed Wallace, who throws up an air ball.
That's there. We've said right throughout all 4 games, anytime they pull that screen on the wing, the roll man to the midpoint is open.
That's Tim Duncan. Billups off the glass.
Anything tonight, Detroit must continue to do what they did in games 3 and 4. Push the fast break, even if they do not have an advantage, and hope that something opens up. Over the 48 minutes, they've been able to wear the Spurs down.
On the switch now, Duncan guards Prince. Prince shoots over him, and Detroit ties the game.
As long as Prince is on the move, Al, he's a force. The main thing right now, it's been difficult for him to post up and score, and also to get off a 3. He's only had 2 3-point attempts in this series.
Duncan coming outside on this possession. 10 to the lane now. Wallace blocks it, and then Bowen from the outside, and Detroit with a rebound. Nice move by Prince, and a whistle. And you got a foul here as Mike Callahan makes the call. The foul will be on Bowen, grabbing the shirt. First foul on Bruce. First team foul on San Antonio.
As long as Detroit keeps looking up ahead, force the issue, that puts a lot of pressure on the defense of San Antonio.
Prince has had a fairly quiet series. Rasheed Wallace, who has certainly had his moments and has been very good defensively. Going to work on Duncan. Tonight you've got Duncan scoring over Wallace. You have Wallace scoring over Duncan, and Rasheed talked about the days of yore.
just different colors now. You know, it was some good games that we had down there in the Tobacco Road, Wake Forest, UNC, down there in Winston-Salem. It was definitely some good games.
I remember not knowing much about him and seeing film before the game and being amazed by his athleticism, by how he attacked the basket.
There they were in college head-to-head, met 6 times, each won 3. In this series, they met 4 times, each has won 2. So Popovich takes a timeout with 7 minutes to go in the period, and here we go again. San Antonio had a 4-0 lead, so Detroit is on a 13-2 run early. Robert Horry is in the game, and Brent Barry is in the game, and Horry drives to the basket, and you've got a foul against San Antonio. Offensive foul on Horry, his first.
In this situation, there was a switch. Horry's going to the basket. This is what we're talking about. The front line, Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and then Ben Wallace. Quickness of foot, taking away the lane to the rim. They'll take the charge.
And now Prince loses Barry, but can't get it to go. Offensive rebound for the Pistons. Not a rebound technically because the clock's still running. It's down to 7. Duncan gets the rebound here. And now Manu Ginobili, so hot in the first 2 games, so cool in the 2 games here. Remember, he was hit in the thigh early in game 3. Everybody's saying he's fine, but you tell me. Here's Duncan putting it in.
The emphasis has been Duncan. There's no doubt about it. In the post, almost every play. And otherwise, they use him as a screener. They're getting the switch. And that's what we have to watch for the rest of this quarter. If they continue to get the switch on the side, pick and roll, Duncan will have Prince on him in the post area.
Rasheed Wallace comes up short. Bowen with the rebound. Ginobili through the lane, a running left-hander by the southpaw goes, and a foul.
Now, Mano, he needs this for his confidence. He just has to get off to a good start, and most of all, getting into the painted area with some scores. And then as he gains his confidence and you go to him, hopefully that the defense will open up and he'll be able to get to the glass.
Kids were being named Ginobili earlier in this series. I'm not so sure too many in the last few days, but who knows what the next few days will bring.
Well, the way I keep looking at it is it's still 2-2, and we're now in a 3-game set. Let's see who steps up, because this is the time, like all the themes, the legends are made. I like what we're seeing at both ends of the floor from the defensive side. Everyone is trying to quickly get in front, take the charges, so we know that the emphasis, how big this game is. Once again, though, Detroit, 2 early shot blocks.
Pistons by 2, a little more than halfway through the period. Tony Parker, who is out for a moment, comes back in.
There it is again.
Rasheed Wallace, and it's tipped back up and in.
Now, you can help. You can help on that screen, but you're going to open up that baseline jumper. When that shot goes up, Ben Wallace's man is rotating out. He's the free guy coming for that offensive rebound.
And Barry misses from outside. Barry, the kind of guy, we've talked about this in the last couple of games, Barry or Horry, if they start dropping in threes, that could make a tremendous difference for San Antonio, but they certainly haven't in the last 2 games.
Well, the big thing right now is these are pressure games. When you're open, you must make the shot. That's your specialty. That was short. People thought that it might have been a goaltend, but that ball was definitely short.
Short because Bowen, as has been the case all series long, on Hamilton like a glove. Now Tony Parker gets a screen and puts one in.
I'd like to see that a little bit more, Al, mainly because Ben Wallace will not play up on the screen. He'll give Parker that daylight. Now the key is the pressure will be on Parker to hit that 18 to 19-foot shot.
So with Popovich, you'd like to see that a lot more. And he told Michelle before the game, Popovich and Duncan will be big tonight. Here's Big Ben.
Big Ben in games 3, 4, and early tonight is passing the ball beautifully for a big man. Very soft hands, making the play.
Now Parker from three-point land. Horry gets the rebound. And then Billups reaches in. And foul.
Yeah, solid call that time. The referees tonight are not going to allow you to get away with that. Keep an eye on Big Ben. Watch to the left of your screen. Here he comes down the lane. See, his man is rotating on the baseline to help out. Now, this is just a great move by Chauncey Billups. And now, once again, his man is trying to cut Billups off. Beautiful pass, unselfish play.
And the Pistons up by 4. It's kicked back out to Horry. Horry short on the floater. Duncan can't get the follow to drop, but San Antonio gets a fresh block.
This is a game tonight where when they cut you off in the lane and that ball comes out on a diagonal pass to you, you've got to be ready to catch and shoot.
Bowen kicked out from Parker. He can't get it to drop from the corner. That's his spot.
Now, it isn't like San Antonio are not getting good looks at the basket. The looks are there.
The shots aren't dropping, though. They're hitting 40%, 6 of 15. And Ben Wallace gets fouled. That foul is on Parker off the switch on the mismatch. And let's check in with Stewart.
Now, on Father's Day, Ben Wallace said it was like any other day, game day. His wife tries to keep the kids away from him so he can concentrate. And then he also admitted that he then spends the time running after his kids or them chasing after him. I said, what did your kids get you for Father's Day? He said, they got me some knives and some forks because I'm a magician on the grill. I love flipping up the burgers on the grill. He said they also got me one of those little iPod music things. He said, so I can listen to music while I flip burgers on the grill. I said, so it's all about just a grill with you and cooking food at Father's Day. He said, that's what it's about. Smiled his big smile and walked on. And this was about 20 minutes before the game.
And it's about getting that throw going, too. It was really, I hadn't even noticed, but in the paper today, with the afro, he's 2-0, but with the braids, he's 0-2.
All I know is it doesn't make a bit of difference. It's all working because he is dominating the series in games 3-4 in the early going tonight.
Lindsey Hunter, one of the big stars of the other night, is in the game, and Hunter with an immediate steal.
Now, Bruce Bowen lost control of that.
Hunter 17 points off the bench. The kid who started his career here, then moved around, won a ring with the Lakers a couple of years ago, then a ring with Detroit last year, and seeks some more jewelry here. Wallace comes up with a loose ball. And Horry now for San Antonio.
Excellent defense on Rip Hamilton that time. That was a tough move.
Tony Parker, that can't drop, but Duncan is there for the follow to make it a 4-point game.
Tonight, San Antonio must meet the energy level of Detroit on their offensive board. We know that Detroit has dominated in games 2, 3, and 4, getting second shot attempts. Big thing tonight. Let's see San Antonio step up.
Timeout called by the Detroit Pistons. 2:26 to play. The pivotal fifth game of the NBA Finals. 19-15 Pistons.
We're going to be here all night long, okay? Get a couple of stops, get some good shots. Ben is being a real monster tonight. So whoever's near him, whether it's your guy or not, just don't let him get to the rim. Last couple minutes of the quarter, no turnovers. They get one shot, and we get a great shot at the other end. End of the quarter now. Now look, we take care of the basketball. We can win a basketball game. Every time, you know, first half we gave them 10 or 11 points on it. We just gave them another 5, 6, 7. Hell, I don't know. I can't count that high. Just stop turning it over. Take care of it.
Played last year here, and there is Danny Ferry. He and his dad Bob. So it's interesting you get this combination of guys, and Brent Barry, and almost all of them are in the house tonight, except for the Gugases. And let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, I asked Brent Barry if his dad, Rick, had any advice for him about the NBA Finals, and he said, you know what? He's just letting me enjoy it the way he did back in 1975. I want to enjoy the ride. I don't want it to go by too fast. The Spurs only hope it doesn't, Al.
Spurs know that they go home in a series in which every game has been won by the home team, and a steal here for the Spurs.
That was a little bit of an overpass. If you're Detroit, you wish that Ben just would have taken one bounce and swung to the rim that time.
Ginobili to the hoop, and this time gets the bounce.
That was an excellent read by Ginobili. He had McDyess on him on a switch, and anytime that you have that, you know you have an advantage off the dribble. Big guys, especially power forwards, have difficulty covering you.
You talk about the San Antonio big three, they have scored all of the Spurs points. Duncan 8, Ginobili 5, Parker 4. That is the total of 17 for the Spurs. Shot clock at 5. Billups still outside to beat the buzzer. Can't. 24-second violation. And it's already the third time that Larry Brown's team has turned the ball over tonight. That counts as a turnover on that violation after setting the finals record the other night when they had 4 in 48 minutes. Billups will get a rest. And Antonio McDyess has been such a major part of the Pistons' success in the last 2 games and during the regular season off the bench. Ginobili all the way left-handed, so that's the mono you saw in San Antonio, and the game is tied.
Well, with this group out on the floor, you know that Parker and Ginobili are going to dominate the ball, and they're going to try to look for the opportunities, look for the kickouts, for the perimeter shooting of Barry and Horry.
Here's McDyess. Nice. Slipped a little. Gets it in.
Beautiful move. And it's the story of when you make a strong move to the basket and you stop on a dime, the offensive player always has the advantage.
Final minute of the opening period. And Parker loses the ball off his knee underneath.
San Antonio has established in the first quarter out that they're going to meet the physical part of this game. They have 6 offensive rebounds. They're doing a very nice job. That is only their 3rd turnover. Big thing, cut down the turnovers, take care of your board.
And a 4-point lead now for Detroit. And that's tipped back in by Muhammad.
Now you want to see Muhammad, Al, because you know he really was all over the glass in the first 3 games. They just need him to be out on the court, not get in foul trouble, get his minutes.
Detroit trying to keep that streak alive, outscoring San Antonio in each of 7 quarters. This would be 8 if they do it here. And a whistle and a foul, an offensive foul, as Rip Hamilton puts his hands up and asks Steve Javie what that was all about. 3.6 to play in the period.
Yeah, when they set that screen at both ends of the floor, they're now allowing anyone to move on the screen. Now, I really like the way Ginobili played Rip Hamilton that time. He gambled, he shot the gap, he gambled that Hamilton would not fade to the corner, and he was able to get right out on top of it.
Ginobili, final shot of the period, doesn't go. So Detroit does it again. That's 8 consecutive quarters in which they have outscored the Spurs. Close at the end of 1, Game 5 of the NBA Finals, with the series tied at 2 games apiece. And the final game to be played at the Palace of Auburn Hills. At the end of 1, the world champion Pistons 23, the San Antonio Spurs 21. The NBA Finals on ABC. The first time for him was a couple of years ago when they won, and then I guess as you get a little older and more mature, you can kind of savor every moment.
Well, the experience factor, plus that first year, you're a nervous wreck. You want to make a major contribution to your team, and you know that you have to be a defensive stopper, so you're concentrating solely on the primetime score of the other team.
Second quarter, Detroit with the opening possession. And Ronnie Garrison calls a defensive 3-second violation. That's a technical foul and a free throw coming.
Yeah, they called it on Tim Duncan. And Duncan is trying to explain to Steve Javie on the other side of the floor where he was in relationship to his man. And right now, on the other side, Ronnie Garrison is trying to explain why he called it on Duncan to Coach Popovich.
Hamilton makes the free throw. Rip now has 3 points in the game. Detroit's lead is 3.
Oh, look out here.
Inbound pass nearly stolen.
That's a lucky break right there.
10 on the shot clock. Hunter. And Ginobili with a one-handed rebound. Prince staying with Ginobili. Bowen working it inside to Tim Duncan. The turnaround with the whistle doesn't go. He's fouled.
Duncan has been so active, Al. That's his 9th shot. Okay, he's 4 for 8 from the floor. He picks up another foul in the situation. They're still playing him man-to-man. No double team. They're playing the cutters, and then they're also staying at home on the three-point shooters. So they're forcing Duncan to have a big game here tonight.
Big three with all but 2 points. Mohammed has the deuce. That's the scoring for San Antonio. Duncan at the free throw line.
I like Duncan's game. He's been not only with the points and the shot attempts, but he already has 6 rebounds, and he has 3 on the offensive board. He's very quick to the glass at the offensive end.
Graphic showing you the starting time for our coverage, 8:30 Eastern Time, Game 6 from San Antonio on Tuesday. Ginobili gets the rebound, so Duncan makes 1 of 2, but they have a chance to tie the game here. Kicked out to Parker, and he does at 24.
I see you love it when he's inside that three-point line. He's off to a strong start here tonight. He's 3 for 7 from the field, but he's making that 17 to 19-foot jump shot.
Parker staying with Hunter defensively. And with Duncan fronting McDyess, McDyess gets the shot away, and Ginobili now very active on both ends of the floor.
Ginobili. So there's your switch. That's it. You got to get it there.
Duncan gets it over to Horry. Shot clock down to 7. Back out to Manu. Quick pass to Bowen.
Beautiful.
And Bowen puts it in. Good ball movement to kick the clock almost all the way down, and the Spurs are up by 3.
Now, right on it. Now, mainly because that's excellent ball movement. As soon as they had to switch, the ball went right into Duncan, forced the double team, opened up the three-point shot.
Barry ready to come back into the game. Underneath McDyess. Off the Wallace miss, puts it in. Antonio McDyess.
Well, Horry that time was helping out on the drive, and that's how McDyess opened up. That's where Detroit has been big. Remember now, they have been a monster on the offensive glass.
Parker gets 3 underneath. Backdoor underneath. Uncontested lay-in, and Parker, as predicted by Greg Popovich before the game, he and Duncan tonight look like different guys. 8 for Tony. Spurs by 3. Crowd a little quiet, something we haven't heard here this week. And then Hunter misses. And Manu Ginobili again is there, but they can't control the rebound.
Oh, nice pass.
Then underneath to Ben Wallace. And it comes back to San Antonio. And Ginobili and Parker 2-on-1 on Hamilton, with Prince coming in late, and he couldn't stop him from scoring. 31-26.
Great decision by Parker. If Parker remained on the right side of that basket, the defense had an opportunity to block that shot. He came up underneath on the opposite side and finished with the left. Beautiful.
Hamilton. Richard Hamilton puts it in.
He's been struggling to get open here tonight, but that was a great move. And we've seen in the previous 3 games that he will open up on that right side because of the movement.
Tony Parker underneath for the lay-in. San Antonio has come from behind. Parker converts on the 2-on-1. And the Spurs down early have recaptured the lead by 3 in Auburn Hills.
The boards right now with 8 offensive rebounds.
This is the back end of a 3-point play, but he can only settle for the lay-in. Hamilton missing the free throw. San Antonio leading by 3. 8:38 to play, opening half in Game 5. Brent Barry in the game. When they take Parker out tonight, and you've got a whistle here, away from the play. And again, you've got a defensive 3-second call, this time going the other way, resulting in a technical foul, sending Ginobili to the free throw line. I started to say, with Parker on the bench, the one thing you're not seeing tonight, UB, is Beno Udrih, who's been coming in, the rookie from Slovenia, and has been inconsistent. So while Tony rests, and there is Udrih, you've got either Barry or Ginobili handling the ball, moving it up the court.
Right, they're doing an excellent job with that. Now, Devin Brown just came in. He replaced Bowen at the small forward position. Both players undrafted, both making a real name for themselves within the San Antonio style of play. Now, this is their second clear out for Duncan.
And he's way short.
Oh, good block. That was a good block by McDyess.
McDyess got a hand on it.
You got to look over there now. Rashid has Devin Brown on. You got to get it over and in.
They try to. He gets it away, falling away. And Ginobili starts to come away with the rebound and goes down, and the foul is called on Detroit.
You can see tonight, we know that Parker and Duncan are scoring points here tonight. Between them, they have 19. But Ginobili is willing himself on the glass. That is his 4th rebound already from the guard position.
Foul called on McDyess.
They're using the small forward or the 2 guard to bring the ball up the floor.
Ginobili. Mono all the way in, has it contested, can't get it to drop.
Good defense, solid defense by Detroit.
Prince, guarded by Brown. Loses him, can't get it to drop, followed by Rasheed Wallace, doesn't go. Duncan the outlet to Brown. Now here's Barry, and sooner or later, Brent Barry is going to start popping those. He does from three-point land here, and San Antonio's lead is its biggest of the game, 7 points.
Well, throughout the playoffs, Barry has been a 44% three-point shooter, and we know that is the strong suit of his game right now in the latter years of his career.
It's the Spurs' biggest lead since coming here for game 3. Wallace missing, Brown with the rebound.
Look out now, they have numbers here.
Duncan. Wallace on him, and over him goes Duncan to put it in, and the Spurs right now up 37-28.
Now that was a terrific shot. Duncan had nothing when he turned. He was defense perfectly, and he took the ball right up into the chest, over the face of the defender. Now just keep an eye on this. He doesn't have anything, and he's waiting for Brown to clear out down the side. He's looking for the cut. No one's open. Now just watch that. So he just took it right up, right into him, up over the top.
Stuart Scott with you for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. San Antonio with the big 3. The other night, the 3 big guys for the Spurs had a total of 40 points. Tonight, already they have 29 in the game.
I like the way that they have come out. They've matched what the coaching staff has asked them to do. We want to play physical basketball. They're dominating the glass at both ends of the floor. They're winning the points in the paint by a +12, and they are dominating the fast break game.
Duncan and Parker already in double figures. And on the inbounds pass, there's a foul on Tony Parker. That will be his second.
Detroit made it easy for themselves with the shot blocking, steals, forced turnovers in games 3 and 4. Tonight they're struggling in those categories. They only have forced 3 turnovers and they only have 1 steal. So their fast break game transition non-existent now.
And they've already turned the ball over as much as they turned it over in the entire game the other night as McDyess underneath gets foul. Mohammed with the foul, and here is Stuart Scott.
Al, during timeouts, Larry Brown is part teacher, part motivator. But that last timeout, he was intense. He chastised Rasheed Wallace, chastised him for taking a bad three-pointer. Larry said, quote, "Come on, guys, they're beating us on the boards, they're beating us to loose balls, and we're taking bad shots." And just before they broke, he re-emphasized the point again. He said, "Guys, they are kicking our rear ends on the boards." He wants his guys getting in and getting the rebounds, guys.
And this comes on the heels of that perfect game that they pitched the other night. McDyess at the line. 8-point differential.
I like the way the mental approach to this game in the first half by San Antonio. Their movement is good. They're quick to the offensive glass. They're getting good shots as long as they take their time and see the switches.
And Parker goes in underneath, and McDyess is there. Reads it perfectly, gets the block, sets up Billups for a three that doesn't go. Barry and Prince battle for the rebound, and it's off Barry.
Yeah, I thought that was an excellent call by Mike Callahan. You can see it there. Barry gets a piece of it. Prince did a nice job getting there and keeping the ball alive.
This crew, as I mentioned, worked the game the other night in San Antonio, game one, and they called only 36 fouls fewest in the series. But the Pistons came away very unhappy with the officiating that night. Turnover here. Brown. And has that one spun away by McDyess, but a foul is called on that play.
Devin Brown is going to attack the rim. This guy at 6'5" is quick on the dribble, and he has an excellent explosion to the rim. So when you see him and you pick him up down inside, you might be in position, but he's going to go to the glass. Now, depending upon your angle here, you can see that right there. That was a pretty good block on the ball, and you're saying, yeah, but he got his hand. Well, the hand is part of the ball, supposedly, in that situation.
Brown misses the first of two. McDyess will get a rest. Ben Wallace checks back in. 5.5 to play in the half. San Antonio up by 9.
Now, what you would like to see is your offense. Detroit, your offense has got to get productive here. Now, you're wasting, not wasting, but you got a lot of movement, but nothing is going, and you're getting some bad shot attempts now.
And Hamilton throws it away. So the Pistons coming off that phenomenal outing the other night. And as we mentioned before, 4 turnovers, but only one time did they actually throw the ball away because they had a 24-second violation and 2 offensive fouls, and that's 6 turnovers tonight already.
Well, you can see now when you're not getting those fast break 2-on-1, 4-on-3 situations, you're not getting the easy baskets, you're not getting second shot attempts. It puts pressure on your half-court offense to execute. There's a frustrated coach right there.
And the chant of Detroit basketball comes up on the turnover by San Antonio. Under 5 left. Opening half, Billups backing Parker down. It's swung around to Hunter, who lays it off for Big Ben underneath, and he can't get free. That's blocked. Billups has it and gets it to drop.
Yeah, you're lucky there. That ball by Ben Wallace, he was behind the glass. Very difficult shot.
And Lindsey Hunter closely guarding Parker, but too closely, gets whistled here, and that's 14 fouls against the Pistons.
Popovich is maneuvering his timeouts. I mean, his substitutions, he's doing an excellent job. He's taking Ginobili out, giving him like a 2 or 3 minute burst, throw him back in there, let him go. Same thing with Parker. He is maximizing their minutes, but also he's giving him a quick blow so they can come out and give him 100% energy.
Horry and Muhammad in. Ginobili, they inbound the ball with 21 on the shot clock. Parker drives on Prince, lays it off for Muhammad underneath, and it surprised him and out of bounds on the turnover.
When you're moving and a guard is going to the basket, you always keep your hands up above your waist. So in case he gives that quick pass, that you're in position to make a catch, because that should have been a dunk. I like that right there. You see Rip just smacked Barry's hand.
Foul is on Barry. That's 4 against San Antonio as Duncan gets a breather here. Each team with 14 fouls now.
That's a tough cover for Brent Barry. Anytime that he picks up Hamilton off of a quick screen and Hamilton just looks at it, if he's not wide open, you know he's exploding off the dribble.
Rip Hamilton, he was their leading scorer during the regular season. The ball was touched by Barry, so there's no double dribble, and then Rip Hamilton cashes that one in.
That was excellent defense by Brent. You know, he got a good hand in there. He prevented that first attempt. But, you know, Rip was quick. As soon as he got it back, he just exploded. Look for the rim.
Ginobili works underneath. Horry misses. Now the Pistons mounting a nice run here, down by 5.
You have to get something now, Al. You've got to get something. At the other end now, San Antonio just wasted 2 easy opportunities.
They're trying to do damage with Duncan and Bowen on the bench, and Chauncey Billups goes all the way in to score, and Popovich takes a timeout. 6 straight points for the Detroit Pistons to turn a 9-point deficit into a 3-point deficit. And that brings the crowd at the Palace to its feet.
Now this is just a great read by Billups. He had a mismatch. He's going to the rim because he knows that Rasheed Wallace has Parker. And if they go to help out, then Rasheed Wallace would be on the offensive board.
Nice shirt. Mike got that shirt for Father's Day. I haven't seen that. Happy Father's Day officially to all of you and to you as well. The Spurs are a different team tonight than we've seen in the first 2 games of the series.
I agree 100% now. Plenty of energy, and Ginobili is having a great game. Not only with the points, this is the first time that we've seen a trapping on the ball handler to get Ginobili to give the ball up. But Ginobili has had 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and 8 points in this half.
And right now, Detroit's on a 6-0 run, and that's contested and knocked away. Horry can cut it to 1, and then a pass by Billups goes out of bounds, but off the Spurs.
Well, this is what's been needed. Let's see the shot blocking get going. What they have to do now is increase the pressure in their defense to get steals and force turnovers. Up until now, San Antonio playing a very solid half with the basketball.
Less than 3 to go in the half. Rebound by Bowen off the Billups miss.
By having Ginobili handle the ball, they've kind of neutralized the pressure in the backcourt and then at the top of the circle. Ginobili has answered the bell tonight, and he's having an excellent floor game.
The lead was 9, and Duncan has that contested.
Now, very few times you see him shoot the ball while he's floating to the left, and there was no, I can't say no chance, but you can see what happened there. The ball was definitely short.
An offensive foul here.
Yeah, good call, Mike Callahan. He claims that Rick Hamilton hooked Bowen. And now just keep an eye here now. Let's watch Hamilton. Bowen's going to get up here with the contact. There it is right there. Now you had, Mike Callahan was about 4 feet away from that call as Hamilton just came in and grabbed the arm and pulled and had an advantage going across the lane.
Second foul on Hamilton. We're talking about the floating shot by Duncan moving to his left. The last time he made one of those when it really mattered, in the game in which Derek Fisher scored with 0.4 seconds last year. And the whistle here, as the crowd expresses its displeasure and disgust, and Ginobili will go to the free throw line.
See, right now, Larry Brown is very upset. He's saying that it was a fadeaway on the shot. The defense definitely contested that release. Now just keep an eye on this move right here. Now Prince is going to come up with him. See, he got him there first. The contact was definitely initiated by Ginobili as he put that shoulder into Prince. That's what Larry Brown was yelling for, and so was Prince.
Mono makes a pair. 2 minutes to go. First half. 5-point Spurs lead. Hamilton off that curl, feeds Rashid over Duncan for the basket.
And that's there, time and time again. Every time that Rip Hamilton curls, the man playing the screener is trying to help. That opens up the screener at the midpoint. There's your first real double team on Duncan.
Knocked away. Ben Wallace created that. And Prince drives all the way, but can't cash in at the end. But Detroit will still have the ball as it's out of bounds. And Ginobili is saying that Prince last touched it, and he was out of bounds.
Well, this is a strong move by Prince on the break. You just keep an eye on this right now. He's keeping this. He's going right to the rim. And the reason for this is he feels that he has been open on a few curls, and he has not received the pass.
Fresh clock for Detroit. Billups to inbound. 1:20 to go in the half. And traveling is the call on Hamilton.
Oh, boy. See, that's just frustrating with the trap. You know that when you're on the baseline in the corner, anytime that you have the basketball, San Antonio, 4 out of 5 times, traps you, and they trap you hard. So either pass out of it or split it. Now, if you can't split it, you must pass out.
8th turnover for Detroit. San Antonio has clocked it up 6 times. Make it 7 now on that steal by Prince.
Nice.
With Hamilton and Wallace, 3-on-1. Ben Wallace.
Beautiful steal. Great anticipation on a lazy pass. And then an excellent decision by Prince.
And then it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Prince. But they only have 2 seconds to get the ball across midcourt here. Popovich is going to take it 20 seconds. He said use 6 of the 8 seconds when we come back on the inbound. Across midcourt, and they do on the inbounds to Parker. And Tony drives all the way, and then Horry loses the ball. Here comes Billups. He'll slow it up with 40 seconds.
All right, slow it up, get a good possession.
Chauncey lays it off for Ben Wallace underneath, and Barry is whistling.
In that case, you would rather have had Chauncey Billups lay that ball up, Al, maybe because he had the seam, he was into the basket, he overpassed. You would like to have seen him finish up on that move.
Sneak preview now. What's going to go on halftime in each locker room? What does each coach say to his team?
Well, I think that right now, Popovich is very happy with the execution of his ball club. He's very happy with when he said it's a mind and heart game for us. He's getting it because his big 3 are giving him the numbers that he was looking for. He's also getting great offensive play on his offensive board. At the other end, Larry Brown, his plays have just come to life here now in the last 6 minutes. He wants to see more of this.
Here's Parker now. Unties the game after Detroit had erased a 9-point deficit. Spurs lead by 2. They can milk the clock. The Pistons can here. About a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Anytime that you trap at half court, and if there's good ball movement, the shots will open up for you in the corner. Tony Parker has been excellent tonight with that 17 to 19-foot jump shot.
Neither team with a foul to give. Billups puts it up, doesn't get it, but then the foul is called here. And they'll go to the line with a chance to tie the game and 4.5 on the clock.
Now this is just a great move by Chauncey Billups. And when the shot goes up, okay, just keep an eye here now. This shot goes up. Now the thing is, you see you got to miss, but now I'm going to the board. Now, the guards, Hamilton and Billups in this series, these guys really work. They not only work the offensive end of the floor, they're excellent defenders, and then they give you 5 rebounds a game throughout the playoffs. That is such a major plus to a half-court defensive club when your guards can board, especially in traffic.
Billups a 90% free throw shooter during the regular season and 89% for all of the playoffs. Can tie it here. The 3-point shooters are in for San Antonio with 4.5 on the clock. You've got Horry and Barry in the game. The other night, Larry Brown made a brilliant move with about 6 seconds to play in the half. Put Rasheed Wallace in the game. He cashed it with a 3, and that was a big play. Now Parker launches one that gets blocked, and that's the way the half will end. So in a series in which all of the games have been routs, and the average margin of victory has been 21. We have a tie game at the half. Series tied. Game is tied. Here's Michelle.
All right, with Tony Parker. Hey, Tony, before the game, Greg Popovich guaranteed you would be different tonight. How have you been different in this game than the previous two?
I'm just being myself, just being in attack mode. And every time I catch the ball, I'm going to try to make something happen.
And what's the single most important thing for this team to continue doing in the second half to win this game?
Control the boards and take care of the ball in offense. We have to be patient. Every time we get a turnover, it's 2 easy points for them. So we just have to make sure we take our time and control the boards, and we'll be okay.
Tony, thanks for stopping. Al?
Thank you, Michelle. It's the first quarter in 9 in which the Spurs have outscored the Pistons. They outscored them 21-19 after Detroit outscored San Antonio 23-21 at the end of 1. After this break, Mike, Bill, and Greg will be along with the Verizon Wireless halftime report, analysis of the first half, and a feature on Pistons coach Larry Brown, who tonight seeks his 100th NBA playoff victory. Good one. Game 5, pivotal Game 5 at Auburn Hills. Halftime, San Antonio 42, Detroit 42. The NBA Finals on ABC. Second half coming up. Game tied 42-42. Series tied 2-2. You know, you never know when a memorable series will break out. Now, we've had 4 routes, average margin of victory 21 points, but a very interesting first half. And as I said on the pregame show, I'm predicting drama tonight, all the way.
Well, I like that prediction, by the way. And also, San Antonio, the coaching staff, be thrilled with how they played. Detroit, they finally awakened from a deep sleep in the last 6.5 minutes. 14-5, 5 forced turnovers, 2 blocks. Looking good.
Erased a 9-point deficit. Let's check in with Stuart Scott.
Al, during halftime, Larry Brown told his team that they were lucky to be tied 42-42. LB said that the Spurs came out with all the energy and the Pistons were just lucky to be able to match that energy late in the half. I said, how do you create energy when it's not there? LB said, a stolen ball, block shot, anything like that. But he did warn me. He said, I got to slow Rip Hamilton down. I said, what do you mean? He said, a lot of times he tries to move, catch the ball, do everything too quickly. He said, I just got to slow Rip down. Now, for a report on the Spurs, let's go to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Stuart, Greg Popovich told me, hey, we competed great, so that's an improvement from the last game. Our guards are helping us on the boards. We need that. We're moving the ball better. But on the minus side, we're missing a lot of easy layups, and we've got to figure out a way to get Timmy deeper on the block. He's too far out on the floor for his liking, guys. Despite the fact, Michelle, that Tim Duncan in the first half scored 11 points. Parker had 12. Ginobili had 10. 24th game, 5 with the series tied 2-2. Those the half, which Hamilton unties for the moment at 44-42.
What Larry Brown was upset about with Rip had 4 turnovers in the first half. He was trying to make things happen that were not there, and then equals the turnover. Good to see him get off to a nice quick move.
Bowen hands it underneath to Mohammed, and Nazi with the stop to tie it at 44.
And they would like to see Mohammed, San Antonio, Mohammed and Horry step up here right now. That's 4 points for Mohammed and Horry, who realize does not have a point in this game.
Chauncey Billups, MVP of last year's finals, has 11 points and now makes it 13.
Tough shot. Very, very tough shot. Played well. That was very, very high percentage.
Bowen comes out.
Missed the cutter. Ginobili was open.
Gets by Hamilton, and Bowen all the way to the hoop.
Yeah, you very seldom see that from the top of the circle. Now, Bruce Bowen usually does his damage off the dribble from the corner.
Bowen has 5 points in the game, including 1 3-pointer. Now Billups. That would have been a 3. Duncan off the board. Tony Parker. Best of his 3 games
in
the series. in the Detroit into the series, and Mohammed puts it in on the assist from Parker.
You better make that shot, mainly because Duncan had a guard on him, all right? And he was standing right in front of the basket calling for the ball. Mohammed got to see that now when they switch.
48-46 San Antonio, 2 minutes in the third quarter. Day off tomorrow, 6th game on Tuesday. Ben Wallace to tie it again at 48.
Big Ben is having quite a game. The 13 points, the 5 rebounds, and he's even 5 for 6 on the foul line. All around tonight.
Big Ben having a good series despite that good slow start in San Antonio. There's Billups, razzle-dazzle behind the back. Prince can't handle it, and the ball is off Ginobili out of bounds with 19 on the clock.
One of the few bad decisions I've seen Chauncey Billups make in this series. Give it up. If the defense moves, you'll get it back and you get a layup. The razzle-dazzle, all of that, you get the ball out of bounds right now. You had a 3-on-1. You cannot give up the easy score opportunities.
Hamilton driving on Bowen. All the way underneath, and the foul calls.
Yeah,
offensive.
Good call. Good call by Steve Jackson. Definitely. See, Rip, that's his 5th turnover. That's what Larry Brown is upset with.
Traveling was the call on Hamilton. That's up. No foul. 48-48, 9:15 remaining in the third quarter. Ginobili in the lane, puts up a prayer. Duncan is there for the jam.
I think the shot surprised everyone.
Yes, it did.
Everyone just seemed to stop.
Team tied at 42 at the half and 44, 46, 48. And a whistle here before Prince gets off the shot. Foul on Ginobili.
Since the half, that's the second time they've tried to post Prince on Ginobili. Keep an eye right here. This shot just catches everybody. Duncan, excellent move, strong second shot, sending it down.
Foul is on Ginobili. He's the first guy in the game to pick up a 3rd foul.
Ginobili continues to fight Prince and try to deny the pass. Billups realizes he's got to miss it.
Yeah, he's got Duncan, and he goes right by him, but can't get the roll. Mohammed with the rebound. Mohammed from Parker, and coming in is Wallace. And then the foul on Duncan.
Detroit has come alive with the shot blocking. They had 2 in the last 6 minutes, and they pick up one right here. Both Wallaces get that one.
Yeah. Each got a hand on it, too.
Yes, indeed.
Receive first, then Ben. 2-point San Antonio lead. Hamilton will feed Ben Wallace. Wallace against Mohammed. This is everything. Mohammed outlet to Parker.
That's why Mohammed needs to stay in the game now. Stay out of foul trouble. Give us the minutes because you are a luxury. Another 7-footer in the paint. With Duncan and Mohammed, it's tough to shoot up over the top.
Ginobili to Bowen from the corner. Loves it there. As you know, we've been talking about it throughout the playoffs, throughout his career. Bangs him in from the corners.
He's having a good night tonight. He's 2 for 4. He's opening up. You know Bruce Bowen is not going to force any shot opportunity.
So in the first 4.5 minutes of the third quarter, San Antonio has outscored Detroit 11-6, and the Spurs in Game 5 lead by 5. Hamilton and Bowen have made each other's acquaintance. They might laugh about this 20 years down the line, but this is what it's been like over the last 4.5 games.
This is a battle of 2 feisty people who throughout the 48 minutes constantly are laying a forearm on the opponent, asking for nothing in return. It's banging, grabbing, chesting, hitting you in the face, holding you, trying anything to prevent a score.
And a little bit of verbiage, too. You can see that as well.
A teens.
Most of it from Hamilton. Bowen, trying to stay pretty cool. Bruce celebrated his 34th birthday earlier this week. Play resumes, 7.5 to go. Third quarter, and Duncan blocks that one out of bounds, and the shot clock is at 6.
Now, Timmy's having a strong game here tonight. I like Larry's strategy. Come out of the timeout, make your move, nothing, get it into Rasheed, and have Rasheed. Let's get him back into this contest.
Billups inbounds to Ben Wallace. Gets double teamed, gets it away, doesn't touch the rim, out of bounds. It goes to San Antonio.
Now, he was fighting the shot clock that time. You know, naturally, you would like to have a better shot, but he was trapped coming off. Had to get it up quick.
Coverage on Tuesday night, Game 6 will start at 8:30 Eastern. If there is a 7th game, that is Thursday night on ABC, same time. Here's Ginobili. Bowen drives on Hamilton, goes all the way in, and Bruce Bowen makes it a 7-point Spur lead.
I like what Bruce is doing tonight. That's the second time now that he's attacked the rim. He caught Hamilton by surprise, and most of all, the rotating man, Rasheed Wallace, was late.
Wallace by Duncan to score.
You got to make Duncan work. You know, if you go to Wallace, he'll make the move. Who knows? Maybe Duncan picks up a couple of quick fouls.
Duncan with Wallace on him now. 10. And a foul call. So back to Rasheed Wallace.
Now, this is just a strong move. They're going to Rasheed, trying to get him off to start. He was 3 for 9 for halftime. You can see he can finish in the lane. You've got to get Duncan to work. He played 21 minutes in the first half, and you just cannot have him out on the floor without challenging him. The fatigue factor and also the ability to get him in foul trouble.
Check in with Stuart Scott.
Now, we just saw Rasheed hit a nice layup, but before the game, I was watching him shoot 18-foot jump shots. He'd shoot one right-handed, then he'd shoot one left-handed. He hit about 10 straight with both hands. And I said to him, which hand is better? He laughed. He said, both those bad boys are nice. He said, I can shoot either way. And then ESPN's Greg Anthony, you know, who's a left-hander, walked up, and Rasheed joked with him, Greg, you're just mad because I shoot better left-handed than you ever did, and you're a natural lefty. And to be honest, Al, a lot of times guys can shoot three-pointers left-handed, but they look kind of awkward. Sheed's left did look pretty good. Greg was a little impressed.
Great thing about Sheed is that everything is only the last syllable. It's Sheed, it's not Rasheed. It's ships as in championships. As Billups drops this one here, 57-52.
You can see the trap. They're going to go right after Barry in the backcourt, force him to give it up.
Bowen wide open. Ginobili with the rebound underneath to Duncan for the layup.
Ginobili has been tough on the glass tonight. That's his 5th rebound. And once again, that is the 10th offensive rebound for the Spurs. They're making it happen. They're keeping the glass alive.
And Ginobili has 6 assists to go with the 10 points tonight. Lindsey Hunter in the game. Wallace with that one-handed rebound. And Muhammad comes down and the foul call underneath.
Big Ben working hard. No doubt about it. When that shot goes up, I know it sounds easy. Put a body on him. But this guy is an active dude. And he's constantly moving, quick feet.
Now Hunter goes over to the bench. Lindsey quickly in, quickly out.
Here's your switch now. Barry's on Rasheed Wallace. You know you're going to get that.
Blocked underneath. Here goes Barry.
Yeah, Chelsea Billups is looking for a foul, but you know you got to get the ball to Rasheed in that opportunity because he has such a mismatch. Force him to double team. Either he will score or you'll get a wide open shot to kick out.
Duncan after waving Barry to the other side, gets away the shot. It doesn't go, and away from the ball, the offensive foul is called here.
All of a sudden now, in the middle of this quarter, we're starting to see an awful lot of banging, loose body, people hitting the floor. So right now, the referees have got to tighten up here now and really be tough.
Loose ball foul on Muhammad. his third. That's the team's fourth. Under 5 to play in the period. Rasheed Wallace. One-on-one with Duncan. Fades away and doesn't get it, and Barry is there underneath. Duncan. And you get a foul here, Mike Callahan against San Antonio.
They're watching that matchup. Anytime that there is movement and Bowen or Rip Hamilton throws out a forearm or goes with an elbow, they're calling it. Now just watch this right here. Now there it is right there. That was an elbow by Bowen right into the hip of Hamilton. Excellent call by Callahan.
Third foul, second of the quarter against Bowen. Fourth team foul. Billups. Hamilton gets free, loses Bowen and scores from 16 feet.
Now, in this quarter, that has been there. That's the first time that he's really curled hard. He's been going out to the wing. And yet, every time this evening, when Rip curls hard, he's making the catch and he's getting a wide-open shot right at the foul line area. Now, just keep an eye to the left of the screen. See, when he's coming up, see, Duncan cannot give the help because they've been burning him on Rasheed Wallace and McNice, stepping back for the open shot on the baseline.
Anybody, they're running anything they want. Bruce Bowen and Nazir Mohammed. Oh, we got to all start taking a challenge and guarding. Stay in front of the guy. He can't dribble a ball.
Well, very good statement by the coach. You're giving up easy layups, plus Bowen makes a wide-open three in the corner. Now, right now, we know that Duncan and Parker and Ginobili are in double figures. Well, Bruce Bowen now has 10. Very quietly.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Parker tries to get it back to Barry and throws it away. Detroit ball.
See, that's inexcusable. You do not need a blind pass at this time in the game. All you had to do was you didn't have anything, pick up the ball, make a simple pass.
11 turnovers now for San Antonio.
They forced the double team.
Billups restarts from the point. Prince tries to get by Barry, and you got a double dribble.
Nice defense that time by Frank Barry. That was excellent. Right now, Detroit, in this quarter out, getting poor percentage looks at the basket, turning the ball over, and they're really out of whack right now. They need a good shot in the arm, and it must come from the defensive end so they can get out and get some easy baskets.
Instead, they pick up a foul here on Prince. Detroit has scored only 12 points in the period. San Antonio has outscored them by 5, and that's the difference in a game that was tied at the half. Ginobili gets a rest. Hunter's going to come back into the game for Detroit, and they're going to sit Prince down.
Well, every time they come with Hunter, Chauncey Billups moves over to the shooting guard, and then Hamilton moves up front. That puts a premium pressure on the Wallace boys to rebound the basketball.
Hunter comes into the game. Lindsay, big star the other night, was 17 off the bench. Tonight, nothing. Neither bench has proved to be productive to this point. Barry missing a three-point attempt, and here comes Detroit. Only 4 points off the bench for San Antonio and 5 for Detroit. And then you've got Billups and Barry both going down. And the foul is on Barry. And now that puts them over the limit. His second personal 15th foul. Detroit will go to the line for the rest of the period. Billups, a terrific free throw shooter, misses the first. WNBA next Sunday, the 26th of June. Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks take on the Detroit Shock. Here in Detroit, next Sunday on ABC. So Billups makes one of two. 59-55 San Antonio.
They have Hunter on partner. They're going to try to wear him down a little bit, muscle him up, try to keep him out of the paint with defensive quickness.
Horry inside. Duncan from the lane drops it in.
Tough catch, a great spin move, and an excellent release by Duncan.
Tim Duncan coming back to life after the 2 games here this week. 19 points for him. Leading scorer for either team in the game.
We get the mismatch now. They've had this a couple of times.
Chauncey Billups for a 3.
Duncan had to play him out, play off him, because he did not want to get embarrassed blowing by. And Chauncey just took his time, gave him the ball fake, step back, open 3. And we know he shoots it during the season at over 40%.
Second three-pointer of the game. He has 19 points tonight. It's a 3-point game with 2 minutes to play in the period. San Antonio keeps the ball. Parker on Ben Wallace. On the mismatch, knocked away Rasheed Wallace. Hunter 2-on-1 with Hamilton. Then he feeds back to the trailer, Billups. And Chauncey Billups scores and gets fouled.
Lindsey Hunter could not force that pass. And he did a smart thing. He kept the dribble. He looked back over his shoulder. Now just keep an eye. Watch Rasheed. Now, he looks back for the trailer. See, he took a look for him. Here he comes right there. And a great finish by Chauncey Billups.
Now the 90% free throw shooter during the regular season with a chance to tie the game. With 1:50 to play in the period. And we're knotted up at 61.
Every time, there's that trap. There's that quick trap in the backcourt. See, that's smart basketball. You're down there right now. If you trap Parker at any time, he's got to give it up to someone else. And the surprise trap, that's the first time that Detroit has put the trap so deep in the backcourt. They've done it a few times at half court and have been successful to get the ball out of the dominant playmaker's hands.
4 seconds to get the ball across the line. Meanwhile, with Ginobili out of the game, as was the case, they were outscored 9-2. Parker drives all the way, blocked underneath, but then it's off McDyess and out of bounds. You know, the one thing about Ginobili, he's been the difference maker for San Antonio. He had the 2 great games down there. Not so well has he played here until tonight again, Yubi, with 4 on the shot clock. But he's a tremendous difference maker, as he was right there. A 7-point deficit while he sat on the bench.
He's been excellent tonight. Allen's having a great game.
1 second on the clock. Ginobili has to launch it. They got off the shot. But Hunter now will start up court and give it to Wallace, who gives it back to Lindsey with 1 minute and 15 seconds to play.
The Detroit defense has finally come to life in the last 3 minutes with the shot blocks and the strips.
And then Prince missing after Bowen had fallen down. It's volleyball up, kept alive by Hamilton. Hunter then drives in, and the shot won't go, but the foul is called.
Now this is Ben Wallace at his best. He's involved in the painted area. He knocks a loose ball all the way to the sideline. Rip Hamilton runs and gets it and throws the ball back in to Ben Wallace, who's standing right next to him. Now just watch this. Keep an eye on all of this play here, right here. Excellent attack to the hole by Lindsey Hunter.
Duncan in the final minute of the period is on the bench. Hunter at the line. He's given Detroit the lead. By 2 now. It's 63-61.
Now the front line of San Antonio, you got to pick it up now because Ben Wallace has increased his energy and what he is doing with all the loose balls and the loose rebounds.
Ginobili lays it off to Horry, and Wallace comes out to the 3-point line. Then Horry drives too hard, and here comes Hamilton.
Now, Ben Wallace closed out Horry and stopped that three-point attempt.
And then Hunter tries to get it to McDyess and throws it out of bounds. So you've got a 5.4-second differential shot and game clock here.
It's an excellent idea.
Great idea, right?
Yeah, he's wide open. Unfortunately, the pass was way short.
Yeah, Edison had a few that didn't work either, you know. Once in a while, they don't work. Ginobili milks the clock. Now 5 on the 24, and Ginobili with Prince. Prince commits the foul.
And then foul again.
And that was it right there. So you have 9 seconds remaining. And with that foul to give, they have enough time now. They don't have to reset the 24-second clock. And the Spurs can play for the last shot. Muhammad's going to come out. You've got Horry and Duncan and Parker in the game with Bowen and Ginobili to inbound. Parker takes it. Tony's going to drive. He's going to lay it off for Horry. Three-pointer on the way. Got it with 1.1. Robert Horry drops one in. Prince will launch a 60-footer, and that's the end of the period. Well, we've got a ball game.
We sure do. That was a great play. Popovich switched Ginobili and Tony Parker to get that. And they knew that if Parker put it down, he would get double-teamed. They kick out. That is Horry's first made three of the game.
Pistons looking for another ring. Spurs trying to go up 3-2. 1-point game into 3. The NBA Finals on ABC.
That teaches important skills.
First possession of the fourth quarter right here. Tony Parker had no points, nor did Ginobili in that third quarter, and then Horry drops in another bomb. So he ends the third with a 3, starts the fourth with a tray, and the Spurs are up by 4.
What a valuable man.
Wow.
He could play, here he is without a field goal up until these 2 threes. But pressure, clock going down, he's the man.
Hamilton. 67-65.
And they need Hamilton to get going. Also, Prince and Rasheed Wallace have got to step up here. They're struggling. The 2 guys are 5 for 18. They need a good fourth quarter.
Duncan, nice pass after he had to toe dance the baseline to keep it alive. Horry has it. Horry spots up again. This time it doesn't go, and Wallace then with the rebound for Detroit. Hunter starting the period over to Hamilton. He's picked up by Duncan on the splits at the baseline.
There's a clear out.
He goes by him. Horry comes in to help, but they drop it off inside underneath for Antonio McDyess.
Yeah, Billups and Hamilton do an excellent job. When they force that guy to trap him, they'll kick the ball out.
And then Parker has it knocked out of bounds, and it's off Tony.
Yeah, sometimes going too fast, sometimes going too fast. Keep an eye here now to right in the middle of your screen. The Horry came right over, allowed McDyess to step up. Ginobili late on coming down to ward McDyess off the court.
Parker goes into that sprint, and it's his 6th turnover tonight. San Antonio has turned it over 13 times. Pistons 11. Hamilton.
That time Bowen gambled. He tried to space, and I like what Rip did. Unfortunately, that one just did not go down for him, but he had a high percentage shot.
Duncan underneath from Horry. Had to back off, puts it in, and it's a 2-point lead for the Spurs again.
Duncan is moving really well tonight, Al. I mean, we know the points are there, but the rebounding is there, the block shots, total game. He's really leading by example.
21 points and 12 rebounds, and the game is tied again.
Once again, McDyess not only scoring the points in limited minutes, but also with the rebounding and doing a good job defensively.
McDyess now has 9 points in 15 minutes, and Ginobili can't get it to the basket.
Yep, another block now.
Tipped away. McDyess falling on him this time. Shovels it off. It comes back after Tayshaun Prince.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Prince drives, lays it up and in.
Pretty. That's what you like to see in Prince's game. When he realizes he can take you off the dribble because he finishes at a high percentage.
Tayshaun, a quiet series, and tonight 4 points for him. Inside, McDyess comes in there to knock it away, and it's off San Antonio.
Now, that was an incredible rotation by McDyess to knock that deflector. And that was absolutely sensational.
Sixth man, and what a sixth man he has been for the Pistons, who lead by 2. He's a guy who has been in this league now for 10 years. This is only the second time he has been to the playoffs, and the other time he was knocked out in the first round.
In his career, he did 20 points, 10 rebounds twice. Now, how hard is that? This year, 3 guys did 20-10. Duncan, Garnett, and Shaq. Before the 3 operations on that knee, this young man was a tremendous player. 2-time All-Star, played on our Olympic team that won the gold.
In 2000, that's when Larry Brown was an assistant coach and really got to know McDyess. He was able to recruit him to come here last year when he was a free agent. Ball loose underneath, and the Pistons turn it over.
Yeah, I think he was looking to make a pass to Tayshaun Prince, but unfortunately the ball was knocked loose.
It's the Duncan Wallace show again. And this time, Duncan gets it back after it was knocked away. Rasheed Wallace says, where's the travel? There was none, and the game is tied at 71 with Parker getting a blow.
Yeah, Steve Javie said you had a deflection, and he said a loose ball. He answered Wallace. That was just a great move by Duncan. Duncan has got to step up now. He's having a monster night, but he's got to lead the club. And also now, Ginobili, and then when Parker comes back in this game, they need to penetrate.
Hamilton missing. McDyess's follow doesn't drop. San Antonio tries to reassume the lead.
But now to the end now. This is a battle on loose balls. Loose balls, quick feet, and on missed shots. You've got to go and rebound your defensive board.
And Ginobili, as he's going to the basket, gets fouled. Check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, guys, Hubie, you mentioned how well Tim Duncan is playing tonight. Let's remember he's playing on 2 sprained ankles, which have yet to heal completely. I asked Duncan the other day how they're holding up. He told me they tend to get really sore here in the 4th quarter, but he said, what am I going to do? It is what it is. Still, that's fairly revealing for Duncan. He rarely, if ever, admits to anything bothering him. We'll watch to see how he progresses here in the 4th.
Good point, and there's a foul here. You know, you'll be in a situation like this. It's funny. One of the big stories before this series is Duncan's ankles. And then you go along, and already, we're a week and a half into this right now. It's game 5, and then the big stories early become non-stories.
That's right. He came in at the end of 3 rounds, 25 and 12 with bad ankles. Okay.
Right.
Now, everyone gets bent out of shape because in games 3 and 4, he only has 15 points, but he's shooting 31%. The rebounding and shot blocking has been there. But when you are a star of his magnitude, everyone wants more. And I like what he said. I am the leader of this team, and it all starts with me.
Ankles are bound tightly. Have been since he sprained the first of the 2 here in Detroit in March. And Duncan can't get either to drop. Coverage 16, 8:30 Eastern time. Will be in San Antonio on Tuesday night.
Yeah, they got a little confused here on this staggered screen.
Under 7 minutes to play. Prince with a floater from the lane.
Tell you, this is the guy that's got to step up. He and Rasheed Wallace. That will take the pressure off of Billups and Hamilton in the backcourt.
Pistons by 2. Ginobili drives. He gets the drop and he gets the foul. He can take the lead here if he makes the free throw.
This is where Mono excels, and that is forcing the contact. As he's coming in on the right side, he dips that shoulder. It's the second time tonight where he draws the contact. See, right there. And then he forces as he goes with that left hand. You go for the block, you're coming across that left arm.
Those were Ginobili's first points of the half. He had 10 in the opening half. Spurs up by 1. 6.5 left in regulation. Series tied at 2. 1-point game.
They're trying to get Billups into the swing of the offense.
Chauncey loses his man. Rebound swatted out. Detroit retains possession.
Yeah, Rasheed Wallace kept that alive, Al. Excellent in traffic. Rasheed went up, got a piece of it, and knocked it right back out.
Larry Brown stops the clock. 6:15 to go. Game 5, San Antonio 74. Detroit 73. Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ABC. Format in the NBA Finals, and their ancestral beginnings as the Detroit Pistons, the only other team to do it back in 1955. As the Fort Wayne Pistons before moving to Detroit. Here's Chauncey Billups.
Now that was patient. Rip Hamilton was wide open on a curve. They also had another move in their offense, a wide open dunk. Nothing happened. Patience. Excellent move by Chauncey Billups in the paint.
And Detroit leads 75-74. Tony Parker hasn't scored in the half. Matt Duncan puts the ball on the floor. It winds up in Detroit's hands.
Now that was a strong move by Duncan, and you could see all the white shirts converge. That was the pass was just too hard when the ball came out of trying to beat the double team.
24-second violation. You've got Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, Bowen. With Ginobili not coming out. Ginobili ready to come in at the next whistle. Parker and Duncan with Mohammed in the game. Bowen and Barry.
Right, this is a good call. That'll force the double team.
Chauncey Billups from outside the arc.
Oh,
Big Ben underneath.
Big Ben with the quick feet.
Tayshaun Prince.
Ben Wallace is so valuable, Al. He does all the intangibles. He keeps balls alive, gets you the second shot attempt.
Here's Duncan missing. Duncan keeps it alive. Duncan was almost tied up, gets it back, scores, and gets fouled. Great play by Duncan.
Just a terrific effort by Duncan. All right, he misses the shot. Now just watch. Before that, he missed the shot. He went up in traffic, kept it alive, kept his arms up high, and then he makes the strong move. Solid call by the referees, and that's just working hard. Like he said, I'm the leader. I've got to get it done here under pressure.
Transferred the ball in his left hand, puts it in. Now he can tie the game. We were tied at the half. And now we're not tied because it's a one-point game still for Detroit. 4:42 to play in regulation.
Now Duncan is 3 for 7 on the line for the evening.
Ben Wallace is 5 out of 6 in the free throw line. Wallace. Duncan is there to contest the shot, but Prince keeps it alive.
I like what Rasheed Wallace did, though. Strong move to the basket, forced Duncan to play him.
Billups backs it out. Now Duncan is on Billups.
Yeah, he's got an advantage.
Goes by him. And a blocking foul is called here as Billups will go to the free throw line. He's the last guy, if you're the opposition, that you want to see go to the line.
Now, as soon as we saw the mismatch, Billups has taken Duncan. Now the defender gets over. Unfortunately, Horry's late. He's moving, and he's also inside the defensive circle.
Foul on Horry is number 4 on Robert. Only the second team foul in the period against San Antonio. Detroit already has 4 team fouls. So the Spurs will go to the line for the rest of the fourth quarter. A little over 4 to play. San Antonio goes home after the game. Pistons fly down tomorrow, game 6 at the SBC Center in San Antonio on Tuesday night. Drops them both. And the Piston lead is 3.
Doncic's now 6 for 7 as we go down the stretch from the foul line.
Ginobili. Horry with Rasheed Wallace coming out to contest it, and he puts it up over him. Rasheed came all the way out, and Horry still drops the bomb.
Yeah, when you close out, though, on a player of Horry's caliber, a prime-time, high-pressure three, you must make him dribble the ball.
3 out of 4 from three-point land for Robert Horry. 3.5 to go. Parker almost stole it.
Watch out now, time is down.
4 on the clock. Billups puts it up. Prince is there. Another big offensive board for Tayshaun Prince. And a timeout is called. Robert Horry. 3 big shots for him tonight.
Big shot Bob, that's what they call him.
79 all.
Now that was an excellent timeout call by Tayshaun Prince. He was going to get tied up. He felt that he had no passing lane. So right now Detroit has 2 full timeouts. They've used their 20, and they do not have any fouls to give.
Tayshaun Prince 3 out of 3 and 3 rebounds here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, he's come up big, Al, in traffic with these last 2 offensive boards.
He's come to life in game 5, and a foul call here. Foul is on Bruce Bowen. That's his 4th personal foul. Horry has 4 as well.
Rip Hamilton was totally under control. He came off that curl. He was defended. He did not want to put up a poor percentage shot.
Shot clock at 7 as Billups puts it up, and he draws the foul.
Now this is a tough cover for Tony Parker right now. With the game on the line, you know that Billups can either post them up on a pass and post, or he can take them off the dribble down inside. It's a tough cover, and you can see the San Antonio Shirts are looking to come to double team. So you know that any time they clear a side or post up Billups, the double team will come. That will break down the defense of the Spurs.
Parker takes one in the chops, commits his 3rd personal. Each team now with 14 fouls, so they'll shoot free throws the rest of the way. Billups, 90% free throw shooter. Tonight, 7 out of 8 from the stripe. He has 27 points. Crowd quiets down to give Billups full concentration as if he needs it. He drops them both, 81-79. Horry leaves it now for Ginobili. Prince stays with him. Manu's going to drive all the way, lay it up and in. Manu Ginobili now with 15 points in the game.
Now that was a tough shot. As he came off the screen, he read the defense perfectly. The defender fought over the top. The defender thought he had him. That was a difficult shot.
2:30 to play. Hamilton. 83-81 Detroit.
One of the very few times tonight that you could see Rip open up. Open on that right baseline.
Hamilton with 15. Ginobili had driven to tie the game. Manu Ginobili scoring to tie it, but then that's answered by Hamilton at the other end.
Now that is a tough shot. He had to get that up over Rasheed. And this was just a great read on the screen. The defensive man cheats, I fade. because you understand both teams are shooting the penalty. You must take care of the defensive boards and look for the easy shot.
And Horry goes to the hoop and gets fouled. Ben Wallace coming over. Horry winds up going into the first row.
You love it when teams come out of timeouts and they set whatever they set up. You get the execution, and then you get the guy that you wanted to make it happen. That was just a strong move by Robert Horry.
Foul on Rasheed Wallace. From three-point land or something like that to tie the game.
He's just Mr. Intangible. He's everywhere, and you must pay attention because he keeps things alive under pressure on your offensive board.
Horry seeking his 6th championship ring, has 10 points in the quarter. Chauncey Billups, he scores.
You love it. Don't you love it? This young man just loves the pressure. That was a great move. He knows that he can take that clock down, either post, run a spin move, or take Parker off the dribble.
30 for him. Horry. Robert Horry.
Wow.
Doesn't matter what uniform he wears, what arena it's in. Robert Horry. 88-87. Spurs by 1.
He's open.
Hamilton. And Duncan gets the rebound but can't stay in bounds, and they're going to say forced out by Hamilton.
Now that's a foul. So consequently, they'll be shooting. Now, Rip Hamilton opened up, had a wide open shot. There's no doubt about it. Keep an eye right here. You're going to see now he gets pushed in the back by Hamilton. That's a foul. You shoot it at the other end.
Forced out. The foul is called. That's 4 personal fouls now on him. Back to Horry for the three-pointer to give them the lead. Duncan at the free throw line now.
Just uncanny how Robert Horry can take the pressure, big game after big game, no matter what is on the line, and just shoot it with such confidence.
Horry has 7 points in 58 seconds.
If you're going to foul, you must put Duncan. Duncan must go to the line and make the foul shot. He's now 3 for 8 in this ballgame.
And he's 0 for 4 in this quarter from the free throw line. York missed that one too. And Prince will take a timeout for Detroit. So with 59.3 seconds to play, Detroit with the ball and San Antonio with the lead.
A small forward, a power forward for you, and then he wants the ball with the clock going down.
And Chauncey Billups, 30 points tonight. He'll drive. He'll go all the way. He'll put it in.
They caught the defense with their back turned that time. As soon as Chauncey Billups blew by his man, Parker had his back and did not see the drive.
Pistons by 1. Under 40 seconds. Ginobili loses it, gets it back, feeds it underneath, and Duncan goes down hard and gets fouled.
Now that's a smart basketball. You know that any time from now to the end of this game, no one is going to get an uncontested layup. It's a great move right here by Ginobili, and a good deflection. Unfortunately, they did not come up with it. You must foul Duncan and force Timmy to make the foul shot. Now this is the Billups move right there, and you can see that once he beat his man off the dribble, Parker did not see the drive.
Duncan is 3 out of 9 from the line, 0 for 5 in the quarter from the line. With the crowd screaming, he makes 1 out of 2, and that'll tie the game at 89 all. And Larry Brown will stop the clock. Pivotal game, obviously. But more of the pressure, clearly, QB, has to be on Detroit. Because if they lose, then you've got to win 2 in San Antonio, where the Spurs only lost 3 games during the entire regular season. Win tonight, of course, you go down there and you win 1 out of 2.
Now, we realize now Detroit is out of timeout, okay? So you know that Chauncey Billups has been involved in every play since we hit the 2-minute mark. Plus, he is stepping up and playing big. The big thing right now is that San Antonio must defend it without fouling. When the shot goes up, you must keep Prince, Wallace, Rashid, and Ben off the offensive board. This is a situation right now. They've been getting excellent baseline screens and freeing their people up. But you have to pay so much attention to Chauncey Billups, Al, because he wants the pressure of the pass or he wants the pressure of making the shot with the clock down.
Detroit, as Yubi said, cannot stop the clock. 33.8. You have a 9.8-second differential shot and game clock here. Let's go Pistons is the champ.
Now, the old story, you know right now, you must get the ball inbound, but this year you always can pass the ball into the backcourt. It relieves a lot of pressure, and it opens up ground for you so that the suffocating defenses now have difficulty covering.
Tayshaun Prince will inbound the ball. Hamilton, the Wallaces, and Billups are on the floor. Parker, Ginobili, Duncan, Horry, and Bowen are the 5 San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, they're bringing Billups up off the staggered screen.
Bowen is on Billups right now.
Yeah, they're looking right here. Now, here comes the screen. Hamilton coming across. God, it's a fake. He's got to come now.
Billups, spin move. Gets all the way inside, but it's contested. Bowen comes away with the basketball, and so with the game tied, San Antonio has it with 16.9.
It was interesting right there. They had Rip Hamilton down in the post with Parker on him. He hesitated and hesitated. It didn't know whether they were going to post it, but he came across for the screen. As Chauncey Billups penetrated and went to the basket, they ended up with a low percentage shot.
And how about Popovich's strategy of taking Bowen, who's been on Hamilton for 5 games, on Billups in this situation?
That was just an excellent play. Smart move. You've got to foul right away. Stop the clock, because no matter what happens right now, you still have 16.9 seconds as Bowen goes to the foul line. Now we know that Bowen has struggled throughout his career in shooting a high percentage on the line. Now for the playoffs, as you go down and look at the foul shooting, Bowen has shot 63% throughout the playoffs. There's a lot of pressure on Bruce at this time.
They took a timeout. It was a rebound and a timeout. I'm not sure there was a foul call.
Yeah, well, they mentioned
he took the timeout underneath.
Well, there was the contact that they had underneath there, and when they blew it, okay, they did call it a timeout before the foul.
So 89 all, and San Antonio taking a timeout here. They have 1 timeout and a 20-second. 1 full plus a 20. Detroit cannot stop the clock. So the Spurs to inbound. Horry will pass it in. They can take the clock down all the way and play for the last shot of the game.
Now, this is a situation where you have to clear up how you're going to handle the screen and roll, especially if it's at the top of the circle. And there the screen and then the step back.
Horry looking to Ginobili at midcourt.
All right, now you got to be careful now when Horry sets his screen. If Horry sets his screen, watch out, Horry on a step back.
6 seconds. He's not setting the screen. Ginobili drives all the way, and it's blocked underneath. And the rebound taken by Wallace, but he has no timeout to take. There's nothing, and the clock runs out. So we are going to go to overtime.
Now, that was just a great move. P.J. Carlissimo is out challenging Ronnie Garrison. Did he call timeout? Did Rasheed Wallace call timeout? Well, the picture will show, if we have it, that he did.
They didn't have any, and Chris Webber's in the building, just for historical purposes.
See, as the ball is going here right now, you're going to see it as it's right here, but there were no seconds on the clock. Ronnie Garrison read that perfectly.
The clock had already expired.
That's right.
Thank God for Rasheed Wallace.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, that would go down in NBA infamy.
Now, Tim Duncan realizes that he had a fantastic opportunity on that missed shot and put it back in.
Overtime in Game 5. Finals, there have been 27 previous overtime games. Interestingly, the visitors have won 14 of the 27, and home teams are 2-8 in the last 10. Here's Ginobili on the last drive that could have won the game, and the Duncan follow as well that could have won it.
Now, this is just a great Ben Wallace came across, opening up Duncan. Now, just watch. Duncan is open here as he makes the catch. Detroit comes away with a major break right there.
Here we go to overtime. It's 5 minutes, and the fouls carry over. So you have Rasheed Wallace, who has 5 fouls, 1 more, and he's gone. Nobody else in the game has more than 4.
He just ran Ginobili on a stagger screen on the baseline.
And then Hamilton gets a hand on it. It's out of bounds, and you've got 9 on the 24-second clock. Michelle.
Well, guys, right before overtime started, Popovich sat in front of his team and said, okay, now we got to do it again. Put everything behind you. That's over. Hey, you know what? This is not supposed to be easy. This is supposed to be hard. Hubie, is it supposed to be this hard?
Yes.
In a word. Here's Ginobili for 3. And the rebound comes off to Horry, so a big offensive board for Robert.
Yeah, that one just went right through the hands of Ben Wallace. He was up there. He had a piece of it.
Horry to Bowen. Down to Duncan inside. Guarded by Ben Wallace. Has it batted away. Gets it back. Rebound. Ben had it for the moment. Contact underneath. And a foul called here. Horry.
That was Ben Wallace at his best. He challenged Duncan. Then he gets a strip. Pull out a deflection. And then the move. And then the quickness to get out and force the foul.
And that foul on Horry is his 5th, so he has 5. He's the first Spur with 5. Again, Rasheed Wallace has 5. A minute into overtime. Billups, now you've got the Billups Duncan one-on-one here. Prince swats it out.
See, they realize that San Antonio is going to give them the switch. When they get that, Billups knows that he has Duncan in a one-on-one situation if they use the pick.
Off Bowen's foot and out of bounds. Shot clock. It's reset at 14 after the kick ball.
It's a situation where passes must be crisp. You can't lay anything out there lazy right now because people are laying it on the line defensively and they're going to dive to try to get a deflection.
Rasheed Wallace outside. Now to Billups. Tayshaun Prince will shoot from inside the arc and knock it down.
I'll tell you, he's come to life out in the 4th quarter. That's his 5th field goal right now. He was very quiet for 3 quarters.
He was 1 for 6 over the first 3 periods tonight. 4 for 4 since is Tayshaun Prince. Ginobili gets it to Duncan. You've got 5 on the clock. Off the glass, no good. Rebound Detroit.
Well, you have an advantage here because Ginobili's getting up, trying to catch up.
He does. Pistons by 2, less than 3 to go in the first overtime. And Billups gets fouled on his way to the hoop.
Now, when you're watching this, you can see Chauncey Billups is taking his time. They put Duncan in every screen. They're getting the switch. He steps back, and he has Duncan in a one-on-one. He's so crafty because you got to honor the 3. See, now just watch. See, he's going to force the switch. Then he's going to step back here and now take the ball strong to the basket.
Duncan looked around. They did not call the foul. Simply out of bounds, and now the officials confirmed.
Oh, boy.
Now you get. I thought originally there was a foul call. Then it looked like they were going to take it out of bounds, and Popovich says, "What are you doing?" The question is it in the act of shooting or not? Is the maybe the debate here? And the answer is yes.
Now, Steve Gabby's saying that he grabbed him. He grabbed him by the arm. You can see as he's explaining it to Popovich. Now, just keep an eye on it. You're going to see once he goes by Duncan, keep an eye right in there. He was grabbed from the top by Parker, and then the ball went up, and so they're calling it a shot. I like what the referees did. They got together and they talked about it.
4 fouls on Parker. And you've got a timeout taken here by the Spurs. 2:51 remaining in overtime. Prince rattles the rim and drops it in. And Detroit is up by 4. On top, 93-89. It's the biggest lead for either team since the Spurs led at the outset of the fourth quarter after Horry's three-pointer gave San Antonio a 4-point lead. So the fourth quarter was played about as tightly as to the vest as you can play a quarter. We go to overtime. Right now it's a 4-point lead, and the ball will be inbounded in backcourt by the Spurs.
I like the defensive pressure. You got to come down, put some pressure on them, get the ball out of their key guy. Now Ginobili's been handling the ball all night long and taking pressure. Oh, boy. See, that was a bullet pass. A bullet pass right through the hands of Horry.
They may have taken a bullet on that one. Detroit up by 4.
In this overtime, Detroit has been running excellent half-court sets to get the ball to where they really want to go.
4 on the clock.
Good. That's the first time that they actually stopped their movement. The other times they were moving quick.
There goes Parker all the way to the basket with the left hand. 93-91. A little more than 2 minutes to go. And those are the first points since the first half for Tony Parker.
That was a very difficult move by Tony, but he went in strong and finished with the left hand.
He has 14 in the game. 6 on the clock.
It's got to happen quick.
Receipt on Duncan. 3 on the clock. Got it. Pistons by 4. A minute and a half to go. Bowen kicks it back out. Horry drives all the way in and with a left hand with a dunk, and he gets fouled as well. He's been bothered by that shoulder. You can see it hanging right there. Horry drives all the way in.
Now this is just a great move. This is his second finish going with his left hand. Now just keep an eye on this now. Look at that extension. Now the defender, on that replay, you could not tell whether the defender had any kind of positioning. But you can see he's hurting here right now.
He is really in agony. In fact, he had to walk all the way down as we were watching the replays to the other end of the court to buy himself some time. He comes back to the line now, and he is in agony. He has 18 points, all in this half. Actually, all in the quarter, plus overtime, plus the last second of the third period. And it may be the non-shooting shoulder, but that's also affecting the way he shot that free throw.
Quick foul. A quick foul that time. Take it out on the side. Now the big thing right now, San Antonio has no fouls to give.
Detroit inbounding.
You know what?
By 2.
That's right. You got plenty of time, but you got to get back into your continuity. Your continuity has been excellent, and the main thing is you know that you're shooting fouls in case of a defensive lapse.
Billups free. This is a wide open 18-footer.
Now Detroit has 3 full timeouts. San Antonio 2 and 20.
A minute to go. Horry to Duncan, loses loses it. He lost the ball.
Yes, he did. I was right there, right on the money.
50 seconds remaining in overtime. Billups guarded by Bowen. To Hamilton off the curl. Swatted out, and it comes back to Billups. Now you have 8 seconds between the game and the shot clock.
That was beautifully right. They ran two things right there. San Antonio defense the first.
Billups is the guy you don't want to foul here.
Right.
They take the clock down to 6. Chauncey's still with it all the way. Can't get it to drop. Duncan gets the rebound. Timeout, San Antonio. Timeout taken by the Spurs. 9.4 seconds. So they let Billups handle it himself. He goes in. He can't score. And now the Spurs have a chance to tie or even win the game if they get a three-pointer.
Now this is just a great move. Defensive effort right there by the Spurs, and then rebounding the ball and tracking. And if you notice, Duncan was on the pressure, and then Horry came from the opposite side to get right up there and intimidate that last shot.
A lot of pressure on Tim Duncan after that fourth quarter, and especially from the free throw line where he has 4 out of 11 tonight. He has 26 points. He has 19 rebounds, but from the line missing 7 out of 11. Closing seconds, you have Duncan. That could have won it in regulation. Wallace very lucky that the clock had expired, and here you go in overtime.
Now Ben Wallace says defense in big time out. I mean, he's been chesting him up, and he's really made it difficult for Timmy. And that was just a careless catch, no doubt about it. That's like an unforced turnover. Right now, San Antonio has 1 full timeout in a 22nd. Detroit has 2 full timeouts. Main thing right now, you notice Ginobili has been a key guy down the wire in the fourth quarter and in the overtime, taking people off the dribble from the top of the circle.
What about the possibility of going for 3?
Well, the key thing right now is off any type of a drive. The one thing that you cannot do is leave the key three-point shooters unattended. By that we mean Bowen in the corner or Horry out on the top. You must stay with these people and stay at home.
You think Popovich wants to get it into Duncan?
Well, you have no idea what the call is. Everything so far has been off the dribble. The one thing you do is if you go straight into Duncan, you know now that you're putting the pressure on Duncan. If he gets fouled, that he's got to go to the foul line and make the foul shot.
And if you're Larry Brown, if they get it into Duncan, do you want to foul him the way Tim's been at the line tonight?
Well, that depends upon what Larry's strategy is. Rather than give him any kind of a open, high percentage shot.
Those are the questions. Here come the answers. Hunter is into the game for Chauncey Billups. So they put Lindsey Hunter into the game, the great defender. Billups out for this sequence. Horry to inbound.
Now they have Prince on Ginobili, Hunter on Parker.
Here's Ginobili.
To
Horry for 3. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts. Robert Horry from on the arc. He can't be 30. He's got to be 25. I mean, Robert Horry has been around so long, you would think, and with the bum shoulder as well. Here he is, I mean, just clutch shot after clutch shot.
The old story, the most dangerous guy is the guy out of bounds. And that time they put the ball right into the corner, and then as they trap down, they go away from Robert Horry. You know that the most dangerous guy is the guy out of bounds. You stay with the three-point shooter, especially a three-point shooter of Robert Horry's magnitude.
Well, he won 2 titles as a Rocket, 3 as a Laker. Now he seeks his first as a San Antonio Spur. 5 out of 6 from three-point range, 5.9 seconds. Horry has 5 of the 7 points in overtime.
Now you have plenty of time here, Detroit. You still have 1 timeout. All right, San Antonio cannot foul. All right, they are in the penalty. All right, big key right now, Detroit. 5.98 seconds, a lot of time. Okay, you know that you can get the ball inbounds, and then you can make an offensive screen or whatever you want, or come off of a screen and roll. The big thing is you have plenty of time. Just take your time and do not force up a low percentage shot.
No foul to give.
All teams
will inbound.
Yeah, all teams have pet plays from the sideline at this time in a ball game.
Now San Antonio, they wanted to take a look. They took a look, and they get to call a timeout.
They're calling it 20 right now.
20-second timeout.
5.9 seconds remaining in overtime. Classic.
Oh, this has been absolutely fantastic.
Terrific game.
Yes,
really great game.
And for San Antonio, Robert Horry has just been magnificent. But also the fact that was a great play by Ginobili, running that baseline, taking the trap, and then finding Robert Horry. Now at this end of the floor, Al, this is a situation where whether they are going to look, now we are getting another timeout. So we have back-to-back. This is gamemanship. This is chess. What you're going to do, they are going to, this should be a full.
And it is. And right now, with 5.8 remaining, this is a full timeout taken here. Tayshaun Prince ready to inbound the ball. You've got the Wallaces in the game, Ben and Rasheed. You've got Hamilton in the game. And you've got Chauncey Billups.
Now they're bringing Chauncey Billups. He was trying to come up the middle.
And here is Hamilton now. Hamilton with an elbow into the face of Parker. Can't make the shot. Bowen comes away with it, and the San Antonio Spurs can go home and just win 1 out of 2 and capture a 3rd NBA championship in 7 seasons. So it was Tony Parker with the defense on the last play. And all of the air has been sucked out of the palace of Auburn Hills as the Spurs win the 5th game and lead in the series 3-2.
Now you can see that was an offensive foul. They could have called it that way. I know the Detroit fan is saying you thought that Hamilton was fouled. You can see now, just watch right there. So he cleaned Parker away with that elbow right in there, right in the face area. Now he did not get a good look at the basket. Give San Antonio credit because they stopped Chauncey Billups from making the catch on that inbounds pass.
96-95 San Antonio. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, who should we talk to other than Robert Horry? A huge three-pointer to ice this thing. What was the play design? What happened on the play, Robert?
Actually, the play, I was supposed to get out, and Manu cut to the basket, and Rasheed bit. So, and I've been shooting it pretty good, so I was going to let it fly.
Shooting it pretty good is an understatement. I mean, the uncanniness of what you can do down the stretch under pressure. How do you explain that?
I just like to play basketball and have fun. A lot of guys take the game so serious. As you know, in crunch time, I'm out there still smiling and enjoying the game. You got to enjoy it.
Now, you know that people love to call you Big Shot Bob. You don't like it. You like it even less when Tim Duncan calls you Big Shot Bobby. Are you going to let him call you that tonight?
He can call me whatever he wants to. You know, that's just all about being good teammates.
All right, Robert, congratulations. Let's go to Tim now, who's right here. Before the game, Tim, Greg Popovich guaranteed you would be a different player tonight. How did he know?
You know what? I just want to come out and give good effort. Last 2 games, real disappointing what I did out there. A lot of the shots I was taking weren't going down for me. I thought I'd stay with the same game plan, just see if I can knock some down.
We've had 2 blowouts in San Antonio, 2 blowouts here in Detroit. First close game was tonight. What was the difference for you guys?
Big Shot Bob.
Or Big Shot Bobby, as you like.
Big Shot Bobby.
as you go home now with a 3-2 advantage, with 2 opportunities to close this thing out at home. How do you guys now view this opportunity? How will you approach this?
Well, we view this Game 6 as the one we got to get. Those guys are great in Game 7. They've been through a bunch of them. Facing elimination, they're probably the best team around, period. We know that. We came with a much better focus today. We're going to come with that same focus. We'll have our crowd behind us. It'll be a different ballgame.
And finally, Tim, how would you describe the feelings, the emotions, watching that 3 go in by Robert Horry to put you guys ahead, and then stopping Detroit on the other end?
Prayers, all prayers. The ball was let go. I was just hoping it would go in. And it's such a roller coaster tonight. Missing the tap in at the end of regulation, missing free throws down the stretch, and then coming here and getting down 4 and then hitting shots. It's just a roller coaster, left and right, up and down. Just stayed with it, and teammates were just huge.
We'll see you in Game 6.
Thank you.
Al?
Thank you, Michelle. Great sense of timing demonstrated there by Duncan. Father's Day, a present for Pop. Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs going home to try to wrap up the title. What a game. 96